Good evening. We are here at Jack V. Murphy Stadium for the game between the Atlanta Rabbits and the Gladewater Bears. Robert Reynolds, who is usually sitting in the chair beside me, is out tonight. So we'd like to wish Robert well and look for him back in the booth as soon as possible. Tonight I have Dylan Bacon. You've not seen or heard Dylan unless you heard him yelling behind us before, but he's been our stat guy for a number of weeks, and so he gets a chance to sit in and do the play-by-play in Robert's absence tonight. So, Dylan, welcome to the front side of the booth. You don't have to look at the back of anybody's head tonight.
Sam, I'm honored to be here, and, some of the folks have seen me out there because normally my arm jumps into the shot. Now you get to see my face, which I've been told that I have a face for radio.
Yeah.
So that's probably not doing us any favors right now, but we're going to make it work.
So we are going to do the same format that we normally do, and that is some of the time you'll see our image on the screen, and most of the time you'll see the image of the game going on and just hear our play-by-play. So we've got Avon and Michelle that are handling the tech side of everything for us. So behind us, they keep all the circuits connected, wires hooked up, and things rolling, and they solve problems that we don't even know about until we're done. And so again, a big shout out to them for getting things set up and keeping everything going. Also, before we get started, we'll say our thanks to the UIL for allowing us in this COVID season to be able to stream the game live as it goes on. So we haven't been able to do that before, but for us it's been a really great thing with the stadium capacities at 50%. It allows people that aren't here to have a real-time play-by-play and seat at the game, if you will, to know what's going on. Dylan, you've got a few stats. We'll talk about Atlanta in a little bit, but last week the Bears rolled to a 61-16 win over New Boston in New Boston. So tell us a little bit about what you had on some of the stats from that, Dylan.
Well, Sam, the most impressive thing I think about the Gladewater Bears, just being a spectator this year, is all the weapons that head coach Johnny Levere has on offense. 2 weeks ago in Tatum, we were right here at Jack V. Murphy Stadium, and our quarterback Tristan Holmes threw for 345 yards. About 275 of those were caught by DJ Allen. But last week in New Boston, they rushed for nearly that many, 331 yards, and didn't throw for 94. And so you've got, looking on Max Preps today, where they keep all the stats, you've got about 8 or 9 different ball carriers for the Bears that have taken care of those rushing duties, and about 5 different receiving weapons. And so it's always amazing to see just all the options that Gladewater can run. So, and it goes to show you right now, the Gladewater Bears are averaging 48 points a game scored for their offense, and they've had 2 games so far where they've put up 60. Once against New Boston, and then a few weeks ago as well. So really impressive offense to watch here tonight.
Talk a little bit about the defensive points allowed right now. Where are the Bears standing on that?
Well, I think we coined the phrase a hammer of Bears
a
couple weeks ago for our collective term of Bears, and boy, it's appropriate. All season, the defense has allowed 28 points a game, which when you've got an offense that can put up 48, that's how you win ball games, is score more points than your opponent. And in the last 3 games, they've only allowed 21 points a game. So it's been really impressive. There are 5 Bears right now that have 30-plus tackles apiece, total tackles. And then there are 8 sacks, and 3 Bears have 2 apiece. And, of course, that's Logan Bohannon, who actually leads the team in tackles with 43 right now. He has 2 sacks. Eli Cates and Zach Polanco also have 2 apiece. And then you can't leave off Nick Lincoln, who has 38 tackles on the team.
And all of those names get called frequently on each set of downs. So they are in the mix, and they get a lot of tackles, and they're always near the ball.
They sure do. Sam, there's a little bit of history to this this matchup between the Rabbits and the Bears, isn't there?
There is. The Gladewater Bears and Atlanta Rabbits have right now a 10-10 record. They have each won 10 ball games. Their first meeting was in 1962, and Atlanta won that meeting 12-8. The last one was played in 2019. Atlanta won that one as well, 35-28. The last Bears win came in 2018. It was a 37-20 win over the Rabbits. Total points, the Bears take a margin there, 462 points to Atlanta's 355. So still pretty close in their numbers and stats and wins as well.
Well, you certainly can't count the Rabbits out. Right now, they're coming into this game with an overall record of 1-5, but they're 1-1 in district, and they're just now coming off a big win in Sabine, 28-14 over the Cardinals over there. We know that our Gladewater Bears right now are tied for first in the district with White Oak at 2-0 coming into this game, and with a 4-2 record overall. So really and truly, it's too early to just call an out-and-out winner. We've got a lot of football to play tonight.
That's right. Most points in a game is 84 between the Gladewater Bears and the Rabbits. The Bears won that one 46-39, and that was in 2013. Fewest points in a game was 19. Bears won that one 13-6. Largest point spread, there's been, I think, 3 games where the winner of the game has had a 22-point advantage over the loser of that game. And the closest game was 34-33, and that was in an area playoff game at Lobo Stadium over in Longview. But I do know coming into the season, I pulled up just the preseason game descriptions or team descriptions, and the Atlanta Rabbits were ranked number 18 in the preseason polls. They get to come to Gladewater night and play on the Bear turf, 12 returning starters, and their linebacker Parker is a preseason pick for defensive MVP. So he's one of the players to watch. Running back Caleb Hamilton and wide receiver Neal is also there. So I do know, having coached a lot of games against Atlanta and seeing them on the track field and all of their sports, I know they have some quality athletes in Atlanta. So when you play a game of this caliber, the records are pretty much useless. It's all how you play on a Friday night. And I know that Atlanta is in their district season. You know, we talk about 3 seasons: the preseason, the district season, and the playoffs. So they are now gearing up for their playoffs, and with the season like it is now, there can be a lot more teams than there used to be. You know,
Absolutely.
When I will kind of date myself, but back in those days, one team went, and that was the winner of the district. Then it really was a great thing when they brought in 2 teams, and because there were a lot of teams, especially in East Texas, where the districts were so tough, you had 2 teams from the same district that could play a long ways. And we've also seen, since then, as they've added teams, we've seen 2 state champions in different divisions come out of the same district. So the playoff season is certainly on everybody's mind, and it is a big deal every week when you're at that season.
You're absolutely right. It seems like as soon as district starts off, the lights get a little bit brighter, the fans get a little louder, even at 50% capacity, and the games mean just a little bit more, because every game just about you're fighting for your life. And this District 6 3A here in Division 1 is not wanting for talent right now.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
a lot of quality football teams that can put up a lot of points on the board.
Well, tonight we were a little worried about the weather. The clouds broke at about 4:30 or 5 here in Gladewater. There's still some clouds, but we could actually see a sunset tonight and some blue sky still showing.
Made for a beautiful sunset.
It did, and the temperature
about 71 degrees right now.
I was going to say it was about 72 about 15 minutes ago, so I figured it's dropped a little bit. But so it's really a good night. Looks like we will avoid some of the showers and get a dry game, and it'll be a little bit cooler. Not as cool as the last week or two, but still a really good temperature to play a ball game.
Absolutely. And Sam, if I could speak to that, we're really blessed right now that we're not dealing with the weather that our friends in southern Louisiana are. So our thoughts and prayers go out to our friends in the Lake Charles area and along the coast that are dealing with Hurricane Delta, Category 2 storm right now. So
oh, absolutely.
On the heels of Hurricane Laura. So.
Yeah, it's been less than 6 weeks since Lake Charles was dealing with this same thing, and then they haven't even got the cleanup done good, and now they're dealing with it again. So certainly our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in the path of that tornado or that hurricane as it makes landfall. Right now the Bears are on the field, the Rabbits are on the field. The Rabbits are in the north corner of the visitor end zone, and the Bears down on their sideline, and I'm sure we're 3 minutes and 30 seconds from game time, so I'm sure they're fixing to bring the captains out, have the coin toss, and get ready for the kickoff.
Absolutely. Now, Sam, a second ago you mentioned some Atlanta Rabbits we need to keep an eye out. Obviously, when you're talking about Gladewater Bears that we're looking for to have a big game, Tristan Holmes, the quarterback's already thrown for more than 1,100 yards.
Oh, wow.
So we're looking at 1,153 to be exact. And so we're looking for a big game from him. DJ Allen, of course, 816 receiving yards with 10 touchdowns. He's averaging 24 yards a reception. So just about every time he catches the ball, you're looking at a first down. But I want to give a shout-out to the men on the front line, the offensive line, that make all those wonderful pass and rush plays possible. They're opening up gaps. They're blocking. So
they are. And the special teams have scored on some punt returns and kickoff returns. And it's exciting every time Gladewater receives the ball. And as we've told you in the past, we are certainly respectful of both teams, and we'll call out all the good plays, but we're Bear fans, and we are pulling for our Bears tonight, but we really are just hoping that it's a great ball game and that everybody exhibits good sportsmanship and plays hard and entertains their crowd, and only one of us can carry the victory away tonight, but we're going to be pulling for the Bears to do that.
Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have to be, a lot of broadcasters, because I did a lot of research coming into this because I'm a nerd and that's what I do, preparing for this game, learning how to try to call play-by-play a little bit. And what you have in some of the best broadcasters, they try to be unbiased. They try to give both teams credit, and we can give both teams credit, and we'll recognize talent where it is. But we really want to see the Bears pull out the win tonight, as I'm sure the rest of Bear Nation does. So
absolutely. So we've got the officials with the captains, and of course Nick Lincoln is one of the Bears that's headed out, and looks like Jackson Warren, number 2 for the Rabbits, is coming out, and they'll do the coin toss at midfield. So right now they're on the Bear logo at midfield, and officials are talking to them. It's like they're about ready to flip the coin.
Not sure if we switched over to the field yet. For those who are just listening to us, the Gladewater Bears are in their home black jerseys with their orange letters. And I've noticed, Sam, it is pink out night for breast cancer awareness. Many of the players are sporting pink socks and pink bands around their socks, raising awareness for breast cancer. And the Atlanta Rabbits are in their travel white jerseys, white pants, and maroon numbers. So we're ready to go. Showing the sides of the coin.
And there's the toss. And I can't see if it's heads or tails from up here, Dylan.
I've got supposedly young eyes, and I'm not even that good myself, Sam. So,
well, we know Robert couldn't see it for sure.
Looks like Gladewater's won the toss, and they are going to defer to the second half.
All right, so it looks like the Bears we'll see what Atlanta chooses. I'm sure they'll want the ball. And Atlanta is going to be on the south end, Bears on the north end. So they will be kicking off to the Rabbits from north to south as we view it from the press box here. So now each captain's going back to his team. They're getting ready to tee the ball up and put the game into play. Dylan, I'm not sure those are the same black jerseys the Bears have been wearing. The numbers look bigger tonight than they have been.
The numbers look bigger, and the numbers look a little brighter, which for somebody like me with astigmatism, I am totally okay with that. Well, looks like we got number 47, Justice Hassett, getting ready to kick off for the Bears, getting us rolling. Back deep for the Rabbits, excuse me. I'm not going to slip up on that more than once tonight.
Number 4, and that is Cameron Dickerson.
And you got number 12, Terrente Neal, over there on the left side. Oh, just kidding. That was Ashton Harper. Credit where credit's due.
All right, here we go. Ball is in the air. Deep kick. Caught just about the 2-yard line.
Dickerson's
Ball brought
got
up,
it.
Breaks it to his right, and brought down with a nice open field tackle by number 11 for the Bears, Colin Lewis. And the Rabbits will take over from their right hash just inside the 15-yard line.
Well, Sam, that was a great move by Colin Lewis. He read that kick return just perfectly. And right now the Rabbits are pretty deep in their own territory. They're going to have to really work past these Bears.
So they come out with 2 wide receivers, 2 tight end, 1 back, shotgun set. Ball snap, handoff up the middle. And he makes about 4 yards. I didn't get a number.
That was Keith Kinney on the carry.
And I do see in on that tackle
Ben Alvarez, number 15.
Yes, and number 36, Devin Walker. So a gain of about 4. Bring up a 2nd and 6. Ball still on the right hash. We've got a tight end to the right, 2 wide receivers to the top of the screen. Another handoff up the middle. He makes it to, we're going to spot that probably on the 28-yard line. That's enough for a first down. They'll move the chains.
Well, Kenny with 2 carries, and in 2 carries he's moved the ball to a first down. That was Nick Lincoln coming in to stop him. So the Rabbits already pounding the ground, establishing the run game early against this front 4 of the Bears.
All right, the ball, same formation, 2 wide receivers to the left. Handoff again, same play. He's got a little room. And that is Keith Kinney, number 9 on that carry. Picks up a first down, gain of about 12 or 13 on that play.
That was Tyrone Maddox bringing him down for the Bears.
Starting for the Bears on the left defensive end is Rajon Johnson. Also, number 40 is in there, and that is Jabraylon Polley. I'll get you the right side in a minute. Atlanta breaks the huddle. Wide receiver to the right. A little mix-up on where they line up. Now they've got all 3 receivers on the right side. Handoff, and he breaks it to the right, wide to the right side. Got a little running room. Breaks a couple of tackles and makes it up to the 49-yard line.
That's Kenny again, Sam, pushed out by Austin Werner.
And that's about a 7-yard gain. Going to bring up a 2nd down and 3. Kind of a long 3. Ball's on the right hash. We called Werner's name a lot a couple weeks ago.
We did. Werner's in on a lot of these big plays for the defense.
We've also got starting in the secondary, Kavaya Reese for the Bears. Now they're in a 2-back set, shotgun formation. Hands it to number 4. And he's got enough for the first. Cameron Dickerson with the carry.
And that looked like Chris Perry in there assisting Ben Alvarez on that stop.
So that puts them into Bear territory. They are on the 46-yard line. And now the ball's over on the left hash.
Well, if I'm the Atlanta coach, Sam, I'm going to be pretty happy with this run game up to this point. We're inside Bear territory. We just crossed midfield, and all but one carry has resulted in a first down.
And here they go up the middle again, met by a swarm of Bears, and it looks like he's met in the backfield. He maybe gets a yard. We'll see where the spot is.
That was Perry again initiating that stop.
Most of their runs have been kind of a left to right or right to left. That one was really more straight up the middle, and he gained a yard on that. So it's going to be a 2nd and 9 from the left hash. They've had 2 wide receivers, then a tight slot, and a tight end on the other side in their 2-back set. So we'll see how they do. 1 back, twins to the right, and it's another handoff up the middle, met by 2 Bears, and he's doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. One of them was
that was Perry and Rajon Johnson
yes.
coming in with that tackle in the backfield.
They had that one sniffed out very well. So that's a loss of almost 5 yards. Well, it is a loss of 5. It'll be 3rd and about 14 or.
And this is the first time
15.
in this drive that Atlanta's been faced with a 3rd and long. So we'll see what the decision is. Let's see if we finally force their hand to throw a little bit, or if they're going to keep ground and pound.
2 wide receivers to the right, ball on the left hash, slot back. Now they're going to throw. Throws a little swing pass, incomplete to number 9, Keith Kinney. So that'll bring up their first 4th down.
No sooner do I get to ask, well, do they go for it on 4th down than they're bringing in the punt team? So
it looks like a punting situation.
You got DJ Allen back there deep to receive the punt, and Colin Lewis chilling just about on the 42-yard line, ready in case it goes short.
So Atlanta in punt formation. Snap is back. And the ball is going to be down just inside the 20. We'll see. Looks like the 18-yard line. Bears will start their first drive of the first quarter from the 18-yard line. Ball will be on the right hash, and they'll be headed toward the south end zone that Atlanta is defending at this time. So the Gladewater offense on the field now.
Well, Sam, that was a real impressive drive, especially with Keith Kinney there carrying the ball. Started back on the 15, got as far as the Bear 45, but then a couple of good moves by the defense and pushed him back and forced that 4th down punt there.
Bears have 2 wide receivers. They give it to the tailback. He's got a little bit of room. And I believe that's number 9.
That's Malachi Gordon.
Malachi Gordon. And he picks up a little bit of yardage. I'm going to call it 3 yards.
Well, Gordon is your leading rusher on the team right now. He's got about 350 yards rushing, if memory serves correctly from what I was looking at this afternoon.
That's about a 4-yard gain, close to it. So that'll bring up about a 2nd and 6. Ball still on the right hash. Bears break the huddle. Wide receivers to both sides. Quarterback under center. I formation. And it's a pass. Overthrown, pass intended for DJ Allen. Thrown just a little bit long as DJ ran down the home sideline. So that'll bring up a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. And we got a few substitutions. So we'll see what the Gladewater Bears have in mind for a 3rd and long.
Well, since that Tatum game where we saw him go 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions, and we saw him go 3 for 4 on 3rd down conversions, I've given up questioning anything that happens on these 3rd and longs.
1 wide receiver to the right, 2 receivers left. It's a pass. Across the middle. Caught. And I believe that was DJ Allen.
That was actually Kavia Reese on that one, up the middle to move the chains.
Oh, yes, it was. That was number 3.
That was one of the substitutions we just saw a second ago, come think of it.
Yeah. So that brings up a new set of chains, 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Wide receiver on each side, I formation, quarterback under center. He gives it to the fullback, and he makes about 3 yards.
Well, your fullback there was the big tank Devin Walker, but there is a flag on the play that we have to contend with now.
And that is just the quick dive with the fullback, so we'll see what we got here. I did see, and I don't know what they called, I did see one of the defensive linemen for Atlanta jump. I don't know if he didn't get back or if somebody on the Gladewater side pulled him off, but anyway, there is a flag out there, and we'll see. He's facing like he's going to step it off against the Bears.
Oh, that is offsides charged against the Rabbits.
Okay. He just moved it back to the line of scrimmage, so instead of a 3-yard gain, we have a 5-yard gain.
I'll take that math any way you get it.
So 1st and 5, according to the down marker, 2 wide receivers each side, 1 right, 1 left. I formation. It's a pass again. And he ends up feeling a little pressure. And I'm not sure if he made it back to the line. He may have lost a yard on the play. We've got one of the Atlanta players slow getting up. But he's up.
That young man is Isaiah Henderson. He's the inside linebacker that started that stop for the Rabbits just then. As Holmes, don't know if he was trying to keep it himself or if he was just crumbling under the pressure a little bit.
I don't know. But anyway, that brings up a 2nd and about 6 still. I think he lost a yard on that. Wide receivers to each side. I formation. And it's an option play. He keeps. And it's going to be very close for a 1st down. Option play, fake to the fullback. Quarterback kept it. They had the option to pitch covered, and he turns it upfield. And we'll see where the spot is.
They gave it to him.
All right, they're going to move the chains. So 1st down for the Bears.
Holmes keeping it himself.
They're not moving the chains yet. They're saying it's 3rd and short. I don't know. I thought I saw one ref say move the chains. He's holding them up.
I saw the white hat throw his hand forward. You can't get my hopes up like that and then just.
So they're talking about it right now.
Well, that was Trey Adams there making that stop.
All right, official timeout for measurement. And, I'm not sure. It may be a little bit short, even though he signaled early that it was a 1st down.
Well, it looks like it from here, but dang, anytime they have to bring out the chains for a measurement, it's
going to be close. So
if you're the NFL, you whip out an index card to measure that.
So they're bringing the chains out now. Both teams taking a little breather. We're down to 5:22 left in the 1st quarter. So that first Atlanta drive had us down to about 7:47, not quite a 5-minute drive. And now we're down to 5:52 as the Bears are on a drive. So it is, if it's short, it's not by any more than an inch. They're really looking at it hard. They're going to call it 3rd and about an inch to go. So very, very close. So you'll get to see your first 3rd down conversion here. But
hey, let's do it.
It'll be 3rd and an inch.
Well, looking in the binoculars that I've got, now I don't have great binoculars, but it looked like the chain stopped right just on the other side of the white stripe of the football. I mean, I don't think you could have cut it any closer with a razor blade.
So that'll bring up 3rd and less than a foot for the Gladewater Bears. Clock continues to run down to 5:19. Bears have 1 wide receiver to the right. They've got an I formation, full backfield, power I. And they give it to the fullback. He's got a little room, and he picks up about 12 or 13 yards on a 3rd down and 1 inch.
Huge run up the middle by Walker for that first down. And, man, that big old boy dropped his shoulder, and he got loose.
He did. Devin, he lowered that shoulder and found a little crease and left a couple of bodies laying in his wake. So that puts him on the 44. Big Tank is doing it. You're right, Avon. So we got wide receivers right and left, I formation. Snap, and it's a pass to the right side. And incomplete. Good defense there.
Credit down there by Jackson Warren, who was bringing the coverage on Colin Lewis. He got right in there, just about knocked that ball away. That was some excellent coverage by the Atlanta secondary.
So one thing I've noticed a little bit on the passes so far, one of them has been more than a 3-step drop, and the others, he's up tight in the pocket throwing pretty quick, really, on a predetermined route. So now we've got a wide receiver to the right, I formation, and the handoff to the tailback. He's got some room. And that was
Gordon.
Malachi Gordon. Nice run. And he is going to be
Let's move those chains, Sam.
a 1st down, and it's going to be spotted on the 31-yard line.
Looked about a 12 or 13-yard run to me.
So that was a nice little run to the tailback. And, again, they're mixing it up pretty good. Some passes, some to the tailback, some to the fullback. So we'll see what this 1st and 10 from the 31 brings us. Ball's on the left hash. We got 2 wide receivers to the right. DJ Allen up there and Colin Lewis. Oh, and it's quarterback draw. He's got some room. He gets a block, gets another block, and he scores.
That's a touchdown.
That was a good play. That they kind of set that up with that short drop, and he ran that quarterback draw and picked up 2 good blocks. And I'll tell you, he even set his blocks up. He stepped like he was going right and let the defender commit, and then the wide receiver down there just did a great job of staying on him. He got a little pursuit down the field, and that was a great run by Tristan Hawley that time. So,
well, credit to those. We mentioned him a second ago.
Got a flag though. We'll see what it is.
Well, credit to those offensive linemen, and then, by the looks of it, our fullbacks and our tailbacks aren't afraid to block either.
No.
We got a lot of blocking weapons here on this front line, which is a good thing because Atlanta's bringing a pretty heavy D-line of their own. They got 3 defensive linemen and 2 ends there on that line.
So no score, brings it back, and the ball is now on the 22. So it's going to be 2nd and about a yard. 2 wide receivers right. Split into the left. Enough for the 1st down. Completed. And it's going to be a touchdown. No flags. Pass to DJ Allen on a little kind of a hook. He was the inside receiver of the 2 to the right. And then it was just a good catch. And then he ran 1 guy to the end zone. So now they get their score. At the 3:50 mark, as far as the time, Gladewater Bears lead the Atlanta Rabbits 6-0. PAT coming up. And again, we've got Justice Hosick kicking. Ball is up, and it looks good from here. So with 3:50 left in the 1st quarter, Bears take a 7-0 lead.
Well, Sam, I noticed DJ Allen, he makes that catch, like you said, on that hook route. And then he's going to take off. And I actually noticed he's going to shift gears, and he's going to adjust speed coming over on that right side. He's reading that defense, avoiding trouble, and then just steps right on into the end zone.
So the first drive for the Bears takes about a little over 2 minutes, I guess. And good combination of plays. A couple of penalties in there, one for them, one against them. So We'll see now. They're set to kick off from the 40.
Well, in credit to the Gladewater offense establishing that run game, you had Gordon, Walker, and then Holmes keeping it himself a couple times on those quarterback draws, really not using the pass until they had to, and when they did, they executed marvelously for the most part. So a good all-around drive by the Gladewater Bears.
Oh, here we go, lined up for the kickoff. Ball is onside kick, and it takes a big hop, but number 17 for Atlanta. That's Adrian Kennington, makes a good catch, goes down, and the Rabbits will take over. Looks like at the 47, 48. Let's see where they spot it.
Wherever they spot it, Kennington had about 1 second to take a breath before Nick Lincoln put him on the ground.
He did, and it was a good hard hit, but he held on to the ball. So, yeah, and we are on the 48. They had it at the 49, but they just corrected that. So ball's on the 48, almost to midfield. Atlanta's got 3 wide receivers to the right, single setback, and it's a pass. It's a quarterback draw. I don't know if that was designed or if they were just covered up, but their quarterback tucked it, went to his left, and picked up about 3 yards maybe.
That was Austin Werner that was destined to hit him before he encouraged the quarterback to go ahead and slide to a stop. And then pushing him outside, Rajon Johnson coming in from the left side, bringing pressure in the backfield, forcing that quarterback to make a decision. So even at midfield, the Bears defense is bringing a lot of pressure. They're looking real good tonight so far in this first quarter.
Okay, we've got split in and slot to the left, handoff up the middle. He breaks a couple tackles, still going, and it's going to be close, depends on where they mark that. It's close to a first down. It's going to be about a yard short.
Well, that was Keith Kinney again with that rush up the middle, and he's taken the lion's share of handoffs so far in this game. They're relying on him a lot to establish that run game and pound the ground against that Bear defense there.
Dangerfield breaks a huddle. They've got a wide flanker and a split in to the left, 2-back set, shotgun snap, ball handed up the middle. And Kinney has enough for the first down, gets down inside the 45-yard line. Looks like they're going to spot it at inside the 35. I'm sorry, they're spotting it at the 34.
That was Ben Alvarez hooking on to him and holding him, keeping any more damage from happening. So
they've got that wing back set sometimes into strength, sometimes weak, and he becomes kind of their blocking fullback, and it's really like a trap the way they block that. So that's a well-designed play that Atlanta is running. And it's the same thing from the other side. They just flip the formation and run the same play, and he picks up about 4 yards.
Well, that time you get your fullback into some action. Cartrez Andrews coming up there through the middle.
So that's ball's in the middle of the field. It's second down, and I'm going to call it 6 yards. And Atlanta's waiting on their play. They break the huddle. And they've got split in to the left, flanker to the right. He steps up on the line. 1-back set, shotgun. It's another handoff. And this time they block it straight away, and he makes about 1 yard. So that's going to bring up, well, he really didn't make quite a yard, but made a little
He broke
bit.
up the middle again, and Logan Bohannon said, "No, sir, not today."
Yeah.
Stopping him right there up the middle in his tracks.
They blocked it a little different and didn't use the cross block action with the wingman, and just blocked it kind of big on big is what we used to call it. So now they've got 3 wide receivers, 2 wide receivers and a flanker, and they're going to just sprint out. Quarterback throws it, and number 4 is wide open. That is Cameron Dickerson. So they had a split in, 2 wide receivers, and he slipped off that slot position and ran toward the flag and was wide open. So it looked like a broken pass coverage for the Bears. And Dangerfield gets in the end zone with 37.2 seconds left in the first quarter, and they are ready to attempt their PAT. Number 10 holding, Copper McClure.
That's a kick from Daniel Hernandez.
And the snap was a little high. Good job by McClure getting the snap down, and so that brings us at a score of 7-7 with 37.2 seconds left in this first quarter.
Well, credit to Dickerson over here. He didn't make the catch very clean. It was a good route, but he bobbled it a little bit, brought it down, maintained, brought it into his chest just in time, and was able to cross over the end zone with that. So overall, a pretty solid drive by the Rabbits to respond to the Bears' touchdown there in the beginning.
So the score is 7-7, but if we had a time on possession, I believe the Rabbits have maintained a longer possession time than the Bears. So we'll just see. Maybe, I don't know if we got anybody charting plays, but I believe they had the ball most of this 12 minutes so far.
Sam, I got a text just a second ago from our friend Robert Reynolds, and he wanted me to point out to you that the Bears beat Atlanta 28-12 in 1982. Just saying.
In 1982, would Robert have been on that team, you think, in 1982?
I believe that would have been his senior year.
I was thinking he maybe was a senior and graduated in 82, so it might have been the 81 season, but maybe he'll text us a little clarification on that. And it's a pooch kick by Atlanta.
That's Hernandez kicking it.
We caught it at about the 30 on the right side. He tried to come back to the left. I think that was number 8.
KV Reese.
Was that Elijah Carter, number 8?
On the return was KV Reese there.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
number 3.
We're on about the 26 right now, but maybe lost 3 or 4 yards trying to come wide. So Bears take over, middle of the field, 26-yard line, breaking the huddle now. And we got number 2, DJ Allen wide on the left side. And I'm going to guess Colin Lewis up top on the right side. And we hand it to the tailback off tackle. And he makes about 4 yards on that carry. That was number 8.
That's Eli Carter.
Eli Carter.
And Sam, we got the clarification we were looking for. That was the 1981 season. It was the final game of Robert the Bear Reynolds' career as a Gladewater Bear.
Okay, he did go on to SFA and spent some time with the football team there at SFA for a couple of years, I believe. But
he did but
the reason I know that, we've talked about this before, I went to West Rusk in 1981 as a young 20-something-year-old coach, and we played Gladewater in our last preseason game before the next year they came out of 4A back into 3A. And I've told this, but I'll tell you again, that was my first exposure to Robert Reynolds, and he was a player and I was a coach. But we're really a lot closer than that in age, just so Robert doesn't think he's too young. But they beat us 13-9 with 38 seconds left. So I will give him credit on that one, but I still don't think he stopped Mike Cooper to this day. I think that's maybe the only time he ever yelled at Coach Murphy that he needed some help. He couldn't quite catch Mike Cooper. So anyway, it was definitely a learning experience for me to learn about Gladewater and what tradition they have. And I finally was fortunate and got to join in and get in on a lot of those playoff games and victories as a coach here at Gladewater. So Bears take over on the 30, left hash mark. Got a wide receiver to the left, 2 backs I, quarterback under center, takes the snap. He's going to throw, and he throws it to Colin Lewis, number 11. He breaks some tackles, finally knocked out of bounds, still on his feet. Nice run, and it's enough for a first down.
It's about a 25-yard catch and run there for Colin Lewis.
And that brings us up to the 45-yard line, right hash. So that's a nice play. And they gave Colin a pretty good cushion. Same formation, Colin still to the home side. I formation. Oh, and
Looks like Atlanta jumped.
Atlanta jumps. We'll see if they were drawn or if it's going to be 5 yards against the Rabbits.
That's charged against the Rabbits. That's offsides. And you notice here on this front line of the Rabbits, they're wanting to get a little bit antsy there. It looks like they're trying to force a false start by the Bears, but so far it's cost them two offside penalties.
Yeah. So that brings the ball up just the nose of the ball is almost touching the 50-yard line. Going to be a 1st and 5. Gladewater breaks the huddle. Lewis wide to our home side, and Allen wide to the top of the screen on the left side, I formation. And it's a handoff to the tailback. He breaks it wide. And number 12 for Atlanta, his last name is Neil Turunte Neal. I guess I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'll apologize. But he does an excellent job on a one-on-one open field tackle.
Looks like that one drew a flag, Sam.
Let's see what it is. We've got a stop in the action here.
We got holding charged against the Bears, so we're going to back it up a little bit.
So that's going to negate the offside penalty plus any little gain, and that's going to bring up a 2nd down, and I'm going to call it 13, maybe 14.
I'm going to agree with you on 13. I think you're right, Sam.
2nd and 13. So Bears in trouble on a penalty there. Now they've got Lewis split wide to the left. And is that Allen with him over on this side?
That is actually Eli Carter there in the back. Your wideouts are DJ Allen and Colin Lewis.
Okay.
So you got two of your best receiving weapons over here on the right side. And then Kavia Reese over there on the left, who's already making some noise in this game.
Yes, he has.
Kiave, excuse me. Thank you, Avon. Well, as somebody who's been called Dylan my entire life, I appreciate pronouncing names correctly. So let me not mess that up again.
So here's the snap on a 1st and 15, 14. It's a pass. Allen catches it.
Boy, Allen wearing that guy.
And he makes, let's see where they spot it. He's inside into Atlanta territory.
That's 1st down.
Up to the 43-yard line. And a 1st down. And he broke a tackle or two on that. Clock running, 11:18 left in this half.
He
quarter.
put Logan Shelton on, the number 44 for the Rabbits. He put him on like a coat and wore him all the way to the 1st down mark.
All right, now they got the 2 wide receivers to the left. Split end over here to the right. It's a run. It's a small gain. I'm going to call it a 2-yard gain.
It's Carter again with that short rush up the middle.
And he's running from the right side to his left and trying to turn it upfield behind a blocker. But the Rabs were there and locked up on him and turned it potential big gainer into a 2-yard gain. So
the Rabs, I like that.
Yeah, the Rabs. So now we've got Lewis and Allen to this side on the home side. And it was a throw intended for Colin Lewis, a little bit high, falls incomplete, and just a version of what they did a while ago for the 25-yard gain, but that one falls incomplete. So that's going to bring us a 3rd and 8. And so now we're on the 41-yard line. So we'll see what kind of play selection the Bears have for this 3rd and 8 early in the 2nd quarter. Bears break the huddle. Single receiver. He's lined up. There we go. 2 wide receivers left. And we're going to try this one-on-one coverage to DJ Allen. Ball's a little bit long. Actually, number 2 for Atlanta, Jackson Warren, and number 2 for the Bears, DJ Allen, go up, and the ball falls incomplete inside the 20-yard line. So that brings us to a 4th down. And I don't see the punt team coming on, so we're calling this, I guess, 4-down territory.
I would say so. And, I mean, in fairness, your last change of possession, Atlanta started right about the 45, right about their own 45. So if the ball turned over here, it would be about the same field position. So, but you're in their territory, go for it.
So this is another pass play. Almost picked off. Pass was to DJ Allen, split out here on the left side by himself.
That was Cooper McClure breaking that one up.
So ball goes over on change of downs. So Atlanta will take over from their own 41. And the Bear defense will take the field. And some of the Bears playing tonight that we haven't called out maybe. Of course, we've looked at Cates. We've looked at Landon Ellis. He's out there. The Atlanta Rabbits have 2 wide receivers, 2 backs. It's a play-action pass, and it's thrown deep over the head of number 4, Cameron Dickerson, who had a touchdown catch a little earlier in the game.
Well, that was Reese staying right on him, making sure that if that ball got near him, he was going to knock it down. Reese with the great coverage. And credit to both the defenses right now. You could argue that Gladewater is one of the most explosive defenses in the offenses in the district, and Atlanta's been meeting them toe for toe, but the Bears have responded in kind.
We've got 2 wide receivers to the left side, 2 backfield, and they run their little it's almost like a counter tray, but they're using the wingback as the blocker. Number 9 carries that time, Keith Kinney, and he picks up maybe 2. So 3rd down, the ball is going to be on the 43.
That's Ben Alvarez latching onto him and pulling him to the ground. And I saw he had about a fistful of jersey that he used to just yank him back into the turf.
Well, if you can hang on, sometimes you can win that war.
Sometimes that's all you got to do.
So the Rabbits break the huddle. Number 16 split wide to the right. 2 other backs. They really have 3 wide receivers. They're going to run number 9 on that little scat, and he's got some room. And he is caught by, I can't see the number. It's on the 5-yard line on the far side of the field. But that's just a little scat going into the strength where they had a lot of blockers. And they get a little running room and get down. I think they're going to spot it at the 6-yard line.
I believe that was Reese that caught him.
And there is a flag.
I
see a flag back here at the 41. So let's see. They're going to bring that back. That
That's
hurts. Doesn't matter who's got the ball. If you're on offense and you get a big run that's almost 60 yards and it comes back because of a flag, that hurts.
Boy, and he got loose over here in this C gap over here on the far side. So I was about to credit the offensive line for opening that up.
I'm gonna guess there's a hold in there somewhere.
That is the referee signaled holding.
Well, that's going to be a 10-yard penalty. That's going to bring them back to the 32 from their original line of scrimmage of the 42, and that's going to be 3rd and about 18.
Well, you can't help but say that that's something of a moral victory for the Bears because
it is.
You get that huge run that you're knocking on the territory of a touchdown, and now you're back to your own 30-yard line because of a penalty.
So the Rabbits have 2 wide receivers to each side. They run the ball up the middle, and that is number 30, I believe.
That is Cartrez Andrews, and he's tripped up by Colin Lewis.
So a lot of room. I don't know if those 2 two wide receivers, two wide slots, and a single back spread the Bear defense out, but they just ran the single back up the middle. Checking into the ball game for the Bears is Jabraylon Polley on defense, and he plays on that left side, opposite side of Cates, and he's over there by Rajon Johnson. It is a kick, first punt, and it's caught. Oh,
that's Allen.
Allen fields the ball, bobbles it, and finally steps out at about the 18, 19-yard line. But that ball hit the ground before he picked it back up, and he fielded it cleanly off the ground, so that was good. That would have been a bad situation to turn it over inside the 20.
Well, and you think if he comes up with it on that first attempt, really cleanly makes a run, then he's going to get some yardage there. But really nice move to recover it and keep any damage from happening there, because, like you said, if Atlanta gets that ball this deep in Bear territory, that defense is going to have to work a lot harder than they want to.
Absolutely. So Bears start a drive from their own 19. Ball's on the right hash. Bears headed to the north end zone. Two wide receivers, two backs. And it's a keeper. I'm sorry, he handed it off. I lost the ball in all that.
Okay, so
fullback had the ball. Tank had the ball, and he picks up, what, 4, 5?
It was so convincing because Tank gets the handoff. Tank Devin Walker gets the handoff, goes up the middle. Holmes played it so well that both of us are sitting here in the booth trying to figure out where the ball is. They're tackling both of them like they both believed it. Everybody on Atlanta.
2nd and 5. And it's a handoff to the tailback on a counter play, and I believe it's going to be a first down by about a yard.
Well, that's Gordon coming in there.
One thing that I haven't mentioned, but I've been seeing it the whole half, on defense, Atlanta is doing what we call a stem or a shift. They're lining up, and then before the snap, they stem and move to another position. And that time, the guy that moved left the hole for Tank to run in. He would have been better off staying there.
Well, capitalizing on those, on your opportunities.
And he's got a little room. Colin Lewis.
That's Colin Lewis. He's loose.
And he is in the end zone. I don't see any flags. And that's just a little swing pass. And Colin Lewis catches it. He outruns one, breaks a tackle, and he is in the end zone with 7 minutes left in this second quarter.
That's about a 70-yard catch and run from Colin Lewis for the touchdown.
He did a good job of running and breaking some tackles and also staying in bounds as he had a little push on him as he ran down that home sideline. So Bears about to have their PAT.
Justice Hassick.
And it's good. Little low snap. The holder there, I think, is Nick Lincoln.
That is correct.
And he did a really good job of kind of fielding that ball up off the turf and getting it set up, and good kick through there. So with 7 minutes left in the first half, we've got to score Gladewater Bears 14 and the Atlanta Rabbits 7.
Well, Sam, as we transition here and get ready to kick it off again, I'm noticing some scores from our district rivals here in the second quarter. Jefferson is up on Sabine 14-10 right now. There's about 8 minutes left in that in the half of that game. And then Tatum is beating New Boston, a palindrome score of 21-12.
Okay. So we are getting a little feedback and some input from some of our viewers, and they're getting I hope a good game right now, getting their money's worth over the airways. So we've got a deep kick to about the 12-yard line, And number 4 has that ball. He's trying to find some running room. And he is up to maybe the 25. Looks like the ball is right on the 25.
That looked like Zach Polanco stopping him.
And that was Cameron Dickerson, I think, number 4, carrying that ball. So that brings an Atlanta team onto the field to start another drive from their own 25. Ball in the middle of the field. Looks like they're going to have one wide receiver down to the bottom of our screen. One wide up top, a tight slot, tight wing to the right, and a single setback from the shotgun. And they give it to the single setback. He breaks it off the right tackle. If they give him forward progress, he's going to be at the 30-yard line for a gain of about 5.
That was Andrews again on the carry for the Rabbits. And credit to Alvarez. They can give him credit for positive yardage, but Alvarez needs credit for driving him back behind the line of scrimmage and then back about as far north as he could.
Well, they spotted it at the 30, and he got progress. I think that's where Alvarez found him. So now, ball on the 30, same formation. And again, hands off. Running back going to his right, trying to go wide around the end. He makes it to the 40, maybe 41 for a first down. They're moving the chains. So they're basically setting their twins up to their strength of their formation into their sideline and then running the scat around there, just handing off in front of the quarterback. And he's just trying to go wide and find a crease in there.
Well, it doesn't hurt that Andrews broke about 2 tackles there on that Atlanta sideline on his way in that crease. So you got a big physical young man that's carrying that ball.
So now we got 2 wide receivers, 1 setback, and he's going to hit right up the middle. Breaks it outside. Got a whole hammer herd of bears there. I called them a hammer herd. I don't know if that's a term, but it is now.
You know what? We're allowed to test drive some different catchphrases here. That's Dickerson on the carry for the Rabbits.
And he makes about 3. Ball still on the right hash, but they had him corralled pretty good out there after he got a 3-yard gain.
Atlanta's mixing it up a little bit with their run game.
They are, and the Bear defense is playing solidly. Bear Brigade. We got Avon, our tech guy. He's got a good vocabulary, and he's calling it the Bear Brigade, and I got to tell you, I like it.
Well, Sam, just about anything's better than a sleuth of bears.
Here we go. He's got some room. 1 bear left. We had 1 more, and that's a nice little gain.
That's Keith Kinney again with that carry.
Kinney on that carry, and he's knocked out of bounds, still not brought down. We didn't have the brigade on him, but we had some wheels on him. So we drive him out, and that ball is going to be, they're going to say stepped out at the 40. So he got down further than that, but it's hard for us to see if his foot went out of bounds over there from this other side of the field. So it's a 1st and 10. Rabbits into Bear territory on their 40-yard line with a fresh set of downs.
We're going to have a little bit of that bias. We're going to want those calls to go our way most of the time.
And they try up the middle again, trying to the strong side. He gets back just to the line of scrimmage for no gain.
That's Eli Cates here on this right side, just shutting the door.
And really there was just nothing there. So that's going to be a 2nd and 10, ball in the middle of the field. Let's see what they do. They've got number 18, Stacy Darty, out here wide. And then they've got a slot back to the left side with him. And they fake that play and pass it to number 4. I believe that was Cameron Dickerson again.
Well, we're calling his name a lot tonight.
Well, he's made really 2 or 3 good catches here. So that moves the chains and moves the ball down inside the 15 to the 11-yard line. They really faked that scatter, that play up the middle, and then just hit him quick on a little slant in, and he's got some running room. So Dangerfield down close. first and 10, right hash, 11. They've got 3 receivers set right. And they try this up the middle again. He's got a gain. There's a lot of them in there. They're kind of wadded up, but it looks like he may be down to the 5 or 6 yard line.
The brigade showed up that time to stop him, though. Tyrone Maddox and Ben Alvarez in on that one.
All right, that's a gain of 6. He's down to the 5 yard line. They can get a first down here. They are, again, on the 5. If they can get inside the 2 without scoring, they'd have a fresh set of downs as well. Wide receiver left, wide receiver right, and tight wing and single setback in the shotgun. There's the snap. It's the little scat play to the right. And he is hit hard to keep from scoring. Probably on the 1 yard line, maybe inside the 1. Let's see where they marked that ball.
That was DJ Allen bringing that big hit.
That was a great hit to change. You talk about change somebody's momentum, because he was going in to score, and he is out of bounds now, and it looks like on about the 2 yard line maybe.
Looks like they settled for the field goal. Daniel Hernandez.
No, they
and
scored.
It's good.
They gave him the score on that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I never saw the official signal that score. So that's going to tie it at 14 on the extra point. So, Dylan, I guess I was watching the wrong official. I was looking for him on that side, and it looked like he spotted the ball, but they set it on 3. So, that's a bad one on us. I know Robert's probably going to send us a text about that, but anyway, if you saw it, he did make it into the end zone, but he did get hit hard as he went in. So,
well, Sam, I will willingly take the blame for any mistake that happens in the box tonight when it comes to calling the wrong game.
Well, if
blame the stat guy.
If Robert was here, he would gladly give it to you for sure. But I was wrong on that one too. So I'm going to try to find the white hat and see what he calls every time. But I had the 2 over here and the 1 over there, and they never signaled touchdowns. So anyway, it still counts. It's 14-14. Clock shows 2:54 left in the first half, and the Rabbits are teed up to kick off the ball.
Daniel Hernandez set to kick off again. And Sam, we talked about in the beginning, we were expecting a physical, hard-fought game, and boy, we've got that in the first half so far.
It has been, for sure.
Looks like they got a hands team in there.
So a pooch kick to their right. We take it up the middle. Got a little room. And pick up a few yards on the return. Shy of the 40, but across the 35.
I see all those low numbers. I thought they were going to try to onside kick
well,
it here.
They lined up like they could have. They had only 4 guys over on our side, and everybody else was on that. And the way his angle was, he could have. But he just pooched it and was really a nice kick.
Well, Bears starting in pretty good field position here, just on their own 36-yard line. So let's see if with 2:49 left in this half, let's see if they can capitalize on this good field position.
You know the Bears would like to get another score and go in with a little bit of a lead.
I think that would certainly make us all feel better.
And that ball goes to the single setback. And it's a pickup of, I'm going to call it 5.
That's Carter, Eli Carter carrying it. And then credit to Zachariah Jefferson, making the tackle there on that left side.
So Bears break the huddle. They've got 2 wide receivers to the home side, 1 to the top of the screen on the visitor side, single back. And Tristan Holmes, it's just, and I'm not sure if that's him.
It was.
It was, yes. I couldn't see his number. But he just was on a quarterback keeper, tries to cut it up inside. Atlanta did a good job of keeping the edge and not letting him around the corner. And so I think he probably lost a yard. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 6.
Well, and it didn't help either that this block here on the left side in the backfield, he actually ran into one of his own guys, had to bounce off, adjust, and still try to cut up the middle to make a run out of that.
So Bears have 2 wide receivers to their right, and they hand off, and there is some room, and it may be 6.
That's Carter.
That is Carter, and he is...
That's a touchdown.
That's a 60-yard touchdown.
There's not a flag inside either, Sam.
And in the words of Ric Flair, woo! We'll take that one. Very
you know what?
timely.
You couldn't have called that better yourself. You said we needed it, and they went and got it for you, Sam.
Well, you know, one thing I've noticed is that the Bears have a knack, just an uncanny ability in certain situations to make a big play. And it seems like I get one right calling it a game. Maybe that's my one for this game.
I'll let you pick my lottery numbers next week if you like.
So there's the PAT, and it is good. So the Bears take a 21-14 lead. There is 1 minute and 21 seconds left in the half, and they'll be kicking off to Dangerfield, and they'll have 1 minute 21 to see if they can do something before we take our halftime break.
Well, Sam, you mentioned it, and that's what we've seen so far in this second half is, you know, any team can get a break. But the great teams capitalize on the breaks. They capitalize on mistakes. You mentioned back over here, that defense, when they make an adjustment, it opens up a hole that our running backs have found and have got first downs on. Here again, they start in real good field position. They find that seam over there on the far side from us, and they're making the most out of their opportunities.
Well, they are. And, of course, no game is perfect, but so far the fans that are here and those that are listening, it's a good game to watch for sure. And so here's the Bear kickoff. And it's not a high kick, but it's deep down inside the 5. Taken at the 4. He's got a little bit of a crease. Got some room. And if our kicker can't catch him, he's going to have a
30,
score.
25,
and
20.
Our kicker does catch him, and he takes him out of bounds inside the 20.
Well, that was Elijah Drayton, number 15. Senior. He's listed as a wide receiver, and, man, he's got the speed for one, too.
And I tell you, you've got your kicker playing safety, and I was impressed our kicker had enough speed to catch him. So you hate to have your kicker make a tackle because usually it means a lot of yardage has been gained. But it did save a touchdown. So now with 1:08 left, the Rabbits are inside the 20 on the 17.5 yard line. And they hand it off on the same play they scored on a while ago, and it's maybe a no-gainer.
Hand it off to Keith Kinney again. Stop by. That's a hammer of Bears stopping him, the Bear Brigade stopping him, whatever you call them.
All right, here's the Rabbits again. Wide receiver to both sides. Hands off to the lone back, up the middle. He's stopped by that brigade of Bears. And they're holding him up, but it's a stop, and it may be for no gain. Let's watch and see where the spot is.
Hey, Vaughn, I'm kind of digging the Bear Brigade. That one's pretty catchy. We may roll with that one tonight and see how it goes.
All right. We have is it a timeout? We got 40.3 seconds left on the clock for halftime. So I'm assuming there's a timeout. And both teams are huddled up on the field discussing what the Rabbits may try, and for the Rabbits what they want to do to try to get a score in this last 40 seconds. It is, scoreboard says 3rd and 10, so I don't know if they've just not changed that down marker over on the sideline or what. But
well, and Sam, a couple of scores of intrigue from around the area. Carthage is up on center right now, 28-7. The Gilmer Buckeyes are 14-0 over Spring Hill right now. And shout out to my place of employment. The Winona Wildcats have 6 points, but unfortunately right now in the second quarter, the Troop Tigers have 14.
Gotcha. All right, Dylan, they're lining back up. Gladewater Bear defense is on the field. Rabbits break their huddle.
They're set back up in that 4-3.
And it's number
That's Kenny.
9. He's got some room. They like that little play. And it's just a scat to their strong side to the right. And it looks pretty good. So now we're down to 37.6. And they're kind of in a hurry up. Clock is not running. And they try the same thing. He tries to break it wide right and driven out just inside the 5-yard line. See if they should spot it about the 4.
Well, that looked like Chris Perry and Reese over there tackling him out of bounds. But credit to Rajon Johnson bringing the pressure there from that left side, forcing him to roll right and putting him in position to be tackled out of bounds.
Okay, Atlanta has their play now, 30.2 on the clock. Strong right formation, single setback. And he tries it up the middle, met by that brigade of Bears, and he's actually going to lose yardage on that play.
Eli Cates and Austin Werner being the last ones to get up on that.
So there's another timeout. Ball is going to be spotted outside the 5, right on the 7-yard line. It's going to be a second down and 7 to go.
You have to appreciate the intensity that these two teams are bringing to the field right now. They're playing like they're fighting for the playoffs right now. You know, we talked about that in the pregame, about how the lights are a little brighter right now and the intensity's a little bit higher right now. And these fans, you know, we can't hear the Atlanta fans from here, but credit to our Bear Nation here in attendance. We've been hearing them under the box, and it's been pretty impressive.
Right, and you know, you talk about fighting for a playoff spot. Even if they both get in, they're fighting for which spot they're in on. So
absolutely,
there's a lot of implications depending on where you end up by the last game.
Are you playing a number 4 seed in the first round, or are you playing a number 1 seed?
Exactly. So here we go again. Wide receiver left and one at the top of the screen. Flanker to the right, the top of the screen, single setback. And they fake the run to the tailback and try to throw it to number 10, Cooper McClure, on a quick slant in, and it's good defense, and the pass was a little high. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 7, and I believe they're going to try to get some points out of it, get a field goal. They're bringing their kicker in.
Well, it's not the first time we've mentioned the secondary of either one of these teams. Tristan Holmes, his ability and his talent speaks for himself, but Atlanta has a talented quarterback over there too. But
yes,
the secondary of both these teams have just about shut down the passing game.
And it's good. So that gives the Bears still have advantage of 21-7, but 17, I'm sorry, 21-17, but there is still 17 seconds on the clock, and the Bears will get the ball for 17 seconds.
Well, it may be points on the board, but that's a win for the Bears defense right there.
Oh, absolutely.
After an explosive kick return by the Rabbits, the Bear Brigade makes the huge stop inside the 5-yard line and force a field goal.
Okay, so both sides talking about what they want to do. I don't know if Atlanta would want to do an onside kick here.
Well, I was just about to ask you, Sam, if you're the head coach right now, are you onside kicking it, maybe try to make a couple more plays to close out this half, or are you just pushing them back as far as you can?
I think this is a good time to do it. If you get it, you're not going to have the full 17 seconds left, but you got a shot to maybe hit one and score. and they certainly have the potential to do that. So
I see a lot of low numbers there right now on the Atlanta side.
Yeah, and if you don't get it, you only have to hold a play or two. So, this would be a good time to do it, in my opinion.
Well, I think I speak for Bear Nation. We trust your opinion.
So here we are lined up, and he pooches it over on the left side, and they got it. Number 2 for Atlanta, Jackson Warren. The ball was a pooch kick. It was not onside, but we did not field the ball.
Well, that was DJ Allen down there who might have had a shot at it.
And so Atlanta takes over on the left hash. Ball is on the 25-yard line. And so that was not the onside we looked for, but it still was a great big play for the Atlanta Rabbits.
Well, it was a pooch kick that resulted in
Rabbit
possession. So.
Yeah, you can fair catch those, but it's a live ball. It's gone over 10 yards. You've got to do something with it. I don't know if he thought maybe it would go out of bounds or what, but it didn't, and the Rabbits have the ball.
Well, it might have if not for
so
Warren Diamond.
I'm saying they're going to throw. They got 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the left, single back, shotgun formation. So there's a timeout taken, and I think probably both sides want to decide what they're going to do, and they've seen a look at an offense and a defense. So an obvious good timeout call to just see what you want to do.
Still 17.6 seconds left, and with the field position the Rabbits have, man, that Bear defense made that huge stop, and they can't let up yet. So we'll see what they bring on their side. And again, Atlanta really bringing that run game. They've utilized Keith Kinney and that large fullback of theirs, Cartrez Andrews, has carried the ball. And then when they have to pass it, Dickerson, who is a sophomore, by the way,
I see that,
has been there to catch it. So
and he's listed as a quarterback, defensive back. So typically those quarterbacks, when they play receivers, they have pretty good hands out there too.
Absolutely. So Atlanta not utilizing quite as many different options as we're used to with the Bears, but the ones they've used have performed for them tonight for sure.
Well, they're lined up in the same formation, 3 receivers right, 1 wide receiver left. They're throwing. He fakes to the right, throws it to the left on a little screen type pass, and he is brought down just shy of the 15-yard line, maybe the 16.
That's Terrente Neal with the reception. Rajon Johnson bringing pressure again in the backfield, but credit to the quarterback getting it out of there. Logan Bohannon tackling him, keeping him from a first down.
That brings us down to 5.2 seconds left in this first half. Score 21 for the Bears and 17 for the Rabbits of Atlanta.
If you can make a stop right here, Sam, and you keep Atlanta from scoring going into the second half, the Bears receive the kick to start the second half.
Right. It'll be Bears ball when we come out. And your momentum is that you made them settle for 3 points instead of 7, and you got another stop. So your defense ought to go in feeling like they got a little momentum going for them. So right now, looks like the Rabbits are going to try field goal again. And they're lined up. Here's the snap. Kick is away. And it is good.
Well, that kick from Hernandez, he could have been back on the 50 and probably would have been good. He kicks that thing just about to the moon.
So the half ends on a field goal by Atlanta, and it is 21 Bears, 20 Rabbits, and it makes for a pretty interesting second half as we take a break. So we're going to pause, take a break, and we'll look forward to being back with y'all as the second half gets started in about 28 minutes from now.
Enjoy a little bit of halftime. We'll enjoy the bands performing. We'll see the Honey Bears see some of these other students who are coming out. They've been working hard preparing for halftime. Marching contest for band for 3A is coming up, I believe, in November. Usually it's last week of October, but COVID rules and this, that, and the other. So the bands are working hard. Drill teams are working hard. There's a lot of students here that are showcased on Friday nights that we salute, and they deserve credit for working hard, perfecting their craft, and learning all sorts of things that are just good quality experiences.
Okay, welcome back to the second half of the Gladewater Atlanta game. About to start the third quarter. Bears leading 21-20, and it's been kind of that way all night long. So we're really looking forward to a second half here.
It's been a back and forth matchup, each side trading punches. There's 41 points on the scoreboard right now, Sam, but I'd say this game is as much a story of the defense as it is the offense tonight. Both the Bear and the Rabbit defenses holding out, making some huge plays. Here's your kickoff from Hernandez. It's going to be fielded.
He's got some room. Out of bounds inside the 50 into Atlanta territory. They're going to spot that ball at the 48-yard line.
That was Reese taking off and getting loose down on that far side with that kickoff return. And the Bears will start with possession. They deferred at the coin toss at the beginning of the game. So we're going to get rolling here. Our first offensive possession of the second half. Bears break the huddle. Quarterback under center, lined up in that I formation that we're accustomed to from Gladewater. Wideouts on either side. Holmes going to take the snap. Hand off to the tank. And Devin Walker for a short gain.
It looks like he's good for about 2 yards on that one. So Bears come out with the ball on the ground and I formation. So
about how we started the first half, wasn't it?
It is. So very similar to how the first half started.
And like I said, a story of the defense, that secondary for both teams really limiting the pass game. Bears line back up in the I, Holmes under center. He's going to take the snap. He's keeping it. Throws downfield. And that will fall incomplete, intended for DJ Allen. Just overthrew him a little bit. It's going to bring up third down and about 8.
So that was a play action pass, and they were trying to strike early and strike deep, and it was off of their established run game. So just overthrew him a little bit, but a good play. He was covered. He wasn't wide open, but that's the kind, if you're not going to complete it, you don't want anybody to complete it.
Absolutely. As the Bears break the huddle, see if we can capitalize on opportunity third down conversion. This time Holmes is lined up in shotgun formation. He's got 2 wideouts out on the left side. He'll take the snap. Hands off to Gordon. Gordon up the middle. Gordon's going. And he's brought down just short of the Atlanta 30-yard line. That's good to move the chains and then some.
And he broke about 3 tackles and changed directions twice. So good job of running by Malachi, and good for a first down, and they're moving the chains.
That's what you come to expect from the Bears' leading rusher right now. Devin Walker done a good job so far. Now they're handing the ball. They didn't use Gordon a whole lot in the first half as Holmes lines up in the gun. Running back to his right side. He'll take the snap. Drops back, throws it on the right side. Going up. That pass is incomplete, intended for Lewis.
That was good defense. The Atlanta defender kept the receiver underneath him, and if he threw it long, he was going to be the only one that had a shot at it. But good defense, and again, just an incomplete. So
I believe that's Jackson Warren again, who we've called his name a couple times. He's been making some plays
for Atlanta.
Yep. So the Bears will break the huddle, 2nd and 10. 2 receivers out on the right side as Holmes is back in the shotgun. He'll take the snap, hands it to Gordon. Gordon up the middle, and he'll be brought down at the 25-yard line. That's good for about a 7-yard run.
Well, that's a good run. I kind of lost him for a second because he's so slippery in there, and thought he was down at about 3, and all of a sudden he's getting another 4 yards. So very good run, good effort, just good second effort to try to get a little bit more yardage out of that.
Well, credit to Holmes for his acting ability, because when they do play action or when they fake the handoff, he's good at selling it, and it's hard to tell where the ball is As Holmes lines up back in the gun, he'll take the snap. Low in the backfield. He'll throw to the left side. That pass is caught by none other than Malachi Gordon. And that's good for a first down and then some for the Bears.
That's the first time I've seen that I can recall in this game the Bears with no running backs. Everybody out of the backfield, and Tristan's just back there as the lone setback at quarterback. So
I would say you're right.
Little pressure on the secondary for Atlanta to stop the Bears on this one.
Absolutely, and now we're right knocking on the door. This time we've got running back in the backfield with Holmes lined up in the gun. He's keeping it himself. He's going to take it on the left side. The 10, the 5. He's in the end zone. Touchdown,
and that's
Bears.
A touchdown. That's the second or third time we've seen the little quarterback draw, and it was very well executed. But I'm telling you, Holmes does a really good job of running that ball and finding a crease in an open spot and setting up his blockers as well.
Holmes is a real cerebral player. He can read that defensive line, and he's good at finding an opening, just like you said.
So that brings up the PAT. Ball is down, it's up, and it's good. That brings the score, Bears 28, Atlanta Rabbits 20, with 9:45 left in this third quarter.
Well, Justice Hassick taking care of the point after, getting ready to kick off again for the Bears. And so there again, the story of the first half was capitalizing on opportunities. This is a tight game. It's a physical game. And the Bears have the lead because they made the most. And sure enough, here we go. First drive of the second half, Sam. And we put 7 on the board.
Well, that's the way you like to start. And, you know, I always like to see how the third quarter starts and who made the best adjustments. We were taught early on in our career that, you know, you've got to be able to adjust a lot of times even before halftime, but who can come out with the best adjustments and make some things happen, that it certainly helps to be able to win a game.
Absolutely. Hassick set to kick off. Looks like we got Dickerson back deep for the Rabbits, not the Jackrabbits.
Ball's taken at the
That's McClure.
15.
McClure on the return. He's brought down by Landon Ellis,
And they're
just short of the 30-yard line.
Right, I was going to say they're going to be just at the 30.
Cooper McClure making a couple of big defensive plays back in the first half, and he's trying to make a little bit of noise on special teams here as the Bears line up, getting ready on defense to face the Rabbit offense. We'll see if they can respond again. The Rabbits have not been as successful converting on 3rd and long, but they have had a lot of success on first down. So we'll see you take the snap. Hands off to Kenny. Kenny stopped on the left side. That is a truck, better known as Eli Cates.
I watched number 20 for Gladewater on this left side, Johnson, and he ran a little stunt inside and got under his pads of that offensive lineman and drove back enough, and it made that back, had to cut right into Cates over there. It was a good play on the opposite side, and he won't get a tackle for it.
Nice job. We got the quarterback shotgun, hands back off. It's Kenny again.
Good job that time by the Bear defense.
That's Tyrone Maddox leading the brigade that time.
And they really kept the containment, and it's just a little scat to the wide side over here. And they contained him, and when he cut up, he did finally bounce it, but we had inside-out pursuit there, and it was a gain of not quite 2 yards, maybe 2 yards.
Absolutely. So here we are at 3rd and about, that looked like 8 to you, Sam?
Yes.
Quarterback Justin Pierce, he's set up in the shotgun. I hadn't seen him go under center all night, I don't believe. He'll take the snap. He's heading left. Throws it. Pressure. Pass incomplete.
And he is hit.
That was Cates knocking him down.
And there were 2 of them. I'm trying
Chris
to get,
Perry, number 56.
Yes, and so they really it was kind of a rolling pocket, and they put the heat on him. He threw it short, and he got leveled about the time he let it go. So, again, good defense, and that brings up a 4th and long from the 31, so obvious punting situation.
You got DJ Allen back for the Bears. Can't see the number as well. That snap is on the ground. Low kick. It's picked up by number 28 of the Rabbits. That is Austin Young. Boy, that punt, it almost looked like it was blocked. That punt was awfully low.
He really did a good job of fielding it, and that's a 8, maybe 9-yard punt.
And we'll take that. So the Bears are going to take over inside Rabbit territory still.
So we'll take that every day.
Well, the Bears defense has not let up. Coming out in the second half, they've come out swinging. Looks like we've got a discussion here among the officials. I'm not sure. I didn't see a flag come out, Sam.
I didn't either. So I don't think the ball was tipped, but when it went on the ground, that makes a difference on the way certain plays can happen. So let's see what they got here. Everybody's waiting, and
we've got about 5 Gladewater coaches on the field right now. Okay, well, they made up their minds about something.
Okay, so it's going to be Gladewater ball, right hash, and they are on the 42-yard line in Atlanta territory. We're at 8:45 left in this third quarter. Score still 28-20, and we're trying to wait to see what the officials are wanting to do here.
I was about to say, the Atlanta defense is out. Gladewater's still in the huddle. Atlanta brings that real stout defensive line there. Holmes looks like our official is over on the Atlanta sideline talking to the head coach. I don't know if he's explaining something to him or.
I don't know. That's Coach McClure, and I'm wanting to say that's probably his son. Cooper McClure, number 10, that we've called his name out several times.
Well, there you go. And I'm not a psychologist by any means, Sam, but judging by the body language, Coach McClure is gesticulating quite forcefully. He seems less than enthused about whatever the referee is telling him.
So I'm thinking he didn't like whatever they decided.
Coach Levere watching from the other side. We've still got a conference here of officials in the middle. Here on the line of scrimmage. Well, folks, we've been chilling here for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes as we wait on the officials. We just had a punt situation. Bears have it inside Atlanta territory on their own 42 on the Rabbit 42-yard line. Let me specify. There's 8:45 left, and if you're just joining us, we're in the third quarter. Bears up 28-20 over the Atlanta Rabbits. There's 5 Gladewater coaches back on the field. Most of them with arms crossed or hands on their hips in some kind of thoughtful stance, you could say. They're as anxious to get going as we are. Well, in the meantime, folks, while we're waiting on the officials to make up their mind, Jefferson, going into the third quarter, is beating Sabine 27-13. The Bears, of course, will travel to Jefferson next week to take on their district rival over there. Harleton is beating New Diana 35-0. Troop is 21-9 over Winona. Another district game, Tatum is up 28-18 over New Boston. Gilmer's 28-6 on Spring Hill. And Carthage, at halftime, can you call it a rout when you're 42-7 at halftime?
I'd call that a rout.
Suffice it to say, Carthage has a pretty solid handle on center right now. Pleasant Grove 40-7 over Pittsburgh. And we are back over on the Atlanta sideline conferencing. We've got the referee over here talking to Coach Levere. Well, Sam, how much does this big pause affect the momentum of what we're doing?
Well, it just depends. Every team's different. Some, if nothing else, if it wasn't so close to coming out for the third quarter after a rest at halftime, normally I'd say the guys all use it to take a break and kind of catch their breath. But right now, with 8:45 left in the third quarter, it's probably not good to rest them too much.
Well, and thankfully, Gladewater's not doing any sort of hurry-up offense or anything of the sort. So,
where did Avon go? You want me to hit send?
So now, Atlanta has come off the field. Sam, of all the practicing I did getting ready to do this game, I didn't find a single video on YouTube to prepare me for this.
No, the pause is not good. Sometimes the too much time is like the elephant in the living room. You don't know really what to say, but you know something's there. So I don't know. I wish I could be down there and know exactly what they're discussing, but there were no flags or anything like that. So
Atlanta's huddled up over there on their sideline as if it's a timeout. The Gladewater offense is still just kind of chilling on the field. You can't really call. They're assembled right there at the top of the Gladewater G at midfield. They're not really in a huddle. Okay, so coaches have cleared the field. Players are back on. The Gladewater sideline is cheering. I don't know if that's because something went Gladewater's way or if because we're just about to play ball again. But we've been chilling here about 5 minutes, y'all.
Oh, my goodness.
The officials had some kind of conclave.
Everybody's just glad it's over and they can play again. I think you're right, Dylan.
You know, we just had a presidential debate. We just had a vice presidential debate. Maybe we were having another little just...
Maybe an official debate.
Maybe so. That's what it looked like.
Well, they're still not ready to snap it, but I don't know if somebody's still getting some
referee's
explaining.
back over talking to Coach McClure.
So I'll have to ask after we get done one of our coaches what the discussion was about. But here we go. We're ready to snap and put it back in play.
Holmes lined up in the gun, and we're back in the ball game, folks. He hands it off to Gordon. Gordon up the middle. He's got loose. The 20. He's breaking left.
All the way.
10. The 5.
Oh,
is he in the end zone?
He is going to be out
just
at the
short
4-yard
of the end zone.
And
let me correct a mistake. That was Eli Carter on that carry. That was Eli Carter.
Jackson Warren from I keep calling him Dangerfield, from Atlanta. Brent, I hope you didn't hear that because I've done it twice now. But for
they're
Atlanta,
all up there in Northeast Texas. We lose track of them.
He made a great effort to stop that touchdown. So it looked like he was just all out like a player's supposed to go.
Gladewater first and goal on their own 3-yard line. Holmes under center. Hands it off to Tank. He's in the end zone. Touchdown Bears.
Tank just showed us a new move. He hit, and he was leaned out pretty good, and he made a spin move.
You know what? That was pretty graceful.
It really was. I bet you Tank is a good dancer. I don't know him personally, but I bet you he can dance.
Hey.
Because if you can do that spin move, you can dance. I can tell you that.
Well, it's kind of one of those things. If you're going to be a big guy like that, you're either light on your feet because or you're incredibly clumsy, and it's dangerous when a big guy is clumsy. The extra point is good, so that'll bring your score Gladewater 35, Atlanta 20. And again, capitalizing on a real good drive. So we've had 2 offensive drives here in the second half, and both have resulted in touchdowns for the Gladewater Bears. That's what I'm talking about for efficiency.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So, to answer your question from earlier, whatever that big pause was in the game worked to Gladewater's favor.
It did. But I think that punt that only went 8 yards worked in their favor better than
that probably
anything.
didn't hurt.
Yeah. And maybe they were saying it was touched and it should be Dangerfield's ball. I mean, Brent, you got me saying it now. Quit doing that. It should be, maybe he was saying it should be Atlanta's ball because it was touched or partially blocked, but we could not see that from up here. So we really don't know what the discussion was, but we know that Gladewater was able to get a score off of it. So deep kick, fielded at the 15.
Being returned by number 15 of the Rabbits. He's going to head to the right side. Brought down by... that is Zach Polanco bringing him down.
And that was a gain or return of 7 yards, but he ran ran from one side of the field to the other to make those 7 yards. So
that was Elijah Drayton.
Good effort on his part trying to find that crease.
He did a whole lot of work for a little bit of result, but
so anyway, we're still playing defense for the Bears right now. 1st and 10.
Quarterback takes it. He's rolling right, throws right. Pass complete. That's pass complete to Dickerson. He's brought out of bounds by Polanco.
Polanco really had a nice hard hit on that time and wrapped him up really well. So kind of a good open field play, even though he had the sideline as his other man to help him.
So the pass from quarterback Justin Pierce will be 2nd and short. It's about 2nd and 1. I thought that was almost a first down there, Sam. So Pierce is lined back up in the shotgun. He's got some helpers in the backfield. He's got 2 wide out on the left. Hands off to Kenny, and Kenny is stopped up the middle and driven back. Oh, he's not down yet. But they'll blow the play dead. So he tried to break left, hit that B gap, was stopped up the middle, and driven back. The last guy that was exchanging blows with him was Logan Bohannon, but there was a brigade of Bears that time.
There was, and I will say this on his part, he really was running hard, and they never did get him on the ground, but he's playing hard.
Kenny, far and away your leading rusher right now for the Rabbits as Pierce is in the gun again. Hands off to Kenny. And the Bears are on it in the backfield.
And Nick Lincoln comes up from the outside and just seals off any little bit of room that he had. And about that time, 2 more came in there, and it's a loss of yardage for sure. About a 1 yard loss.
A 1 yard loss is a loss nonetheless. And so it's 4th down. And it's looking like Coach McClure's punt team is going to come on. DJ Allen is back deep for the Bears.
And you know, every time DJ's back there, he needs about a half a step, and it's 6 points. So it's exciting to watch these return teams, the way they block and what he's got. So let's see if he's got a chance to catch it.
That's a quality punt, but it's going to take a Bear-friendly hop back towards Atlanta, and it's going to be dead at about the
36.
Yep, I would say that's 36.
So Bears are going to take over with 6:27 left in this third quarter from their own 36.
Well, and that game against Tatum we had a couple weeks ago was just about all DJ Allen with 275 receiving yards. Atlanta's done a really good job of shutting him down this game. But, again, from our conversation at the beginning, Gladewater's not wanting for studs on offense.
That's true.
So Holmes is back in the gun. He's got 2 wide out to the left side. He's going to take the snap. He's going to throw right, and he's going to hit DJ Allen. Allen is still up. He's got 2 men on him, and that's about a 6-yard reception. And he stood there with 2 defenders trying to bring him down. So that'll be 2nd down and about 4.
And that's a good play, and it's a quick pass. There's not much chance of the quarterback getting in trouble or getting it blocked, so it's just a catch and run at that point.
So we're lined up the same way. 2 wide outs to the left, 1 to the right. Man in the backfield, Holmes in the gun. Hands it off to Gordon. Gordon's going to run up the middle. He's going to get tripped up.
By number 40, Lacation Matthews for Atlanta. He gets up off the bottom of that pile and knocked that leg out from under Gordon.
Sam, I spy a flag on the play.
Uh-oh.
And it's looking like it's going to be marked off against the Bears. And it's holding.
10 yards, so that's going to bring us to a 2nd and 13, we'll call it.
That works for me.
Ball still on the right hash. Holmes coming in with the play.
Bears break the huddle. Holmes is back in the gun. Same formation as before. He's going to take the snap. Drops back. Throws right. Caught by DJ Allen. And Allen will step out of bounds. That's enough to move the chains for a 1st down. And that was a 13-yard catch. So not only did they get the 1st down, they made up for the rest of the yards they needed.
There you go. So they are on their own 49, about to go into Atlanta Rabbit territory. And new set of downs on the chain. Ball's on the right hash. We're down to 5:21 in this quarter.
Bears break the huddle. I keep wanting to call them the Jackrabbits, and you keep wanting to call them Dangerfield. So at some point, we'll get these poor guys right. But Holmes in the gun, takes the snap. He's throwing left quick.
Oh.
Pass intended for Reese will go incomplete, and that just went wide of him to the left a little bit. He reached out to grab it and didn't have a long enough arm.
It was a little bit behind him, but really, if it's in there, he's got good yardage and a little running room. So
we'll try this again on 2nd down. Holmes gets the play and trots back into the huddle.
Rabbits waiting for the Bears to break the huddle.
Rabbit defense is strong over there on the left side, so we'll see how the Bears capitalize on it. Holmes in the gun. Tailback to the right side. He takes the snap. Hands it off. That's Gordon. Gordon up the middle. And he's brought down right at the Gladewater G. I'd call that about half a yard gain.
There was nothing there. He hit in there hard, and there was just they weren't having any of it on the Rabbit side. So
that Atlanta D-line is a stone wall tonight. They haven't let up yet. So that'll be 3rd down. The Bears have been pretty good on converting 3rd down so far. They're about, I believe they're about 6 of 8, if I'm right. My stats haven't been as good tonight because I'm trying to watch the game. I can't scribble on my paper. So Holmes in the gun. He'll take the snap. Fakes a handoff. Tosses it to Allen. Allen.
Not a catch. Incomplete.
So it looked like he caught it. He bobbles it and drops it. Atlanta wants it to be called a fumble.
He never really had control of it. It's just that little jailbreak screen coming inside there, and you throw it, turn it up and run, and he never got a handle on it. It was a little bit low, but very catchable.
Well, it seems like the officials are going to agree with you. They're going to rule that an incomplete pass. Well, hold on a minute. Sam, our sideline marker is showing 1st down.
I think they're just getting the ball set. Yeah, now they're moving the chains. So It's going to be the Atlanta Rabbits ball, 1st and 10, just into Gladewater territory.
So they ruled that a fumble because it was 3rd down.
I thought
Pearson the gun, hands off to Kenny. Kenny's going right. He's got a hole.
And
he's going to be brought down at the 40-yard line of the Bears.
He's running that little scat with a lot of precision, just zipping in and out of there around those blockers, and that's a good play for him. He runs it well. That's a gain of about 8 yards.
Going back to the play before, I thought it was incomplete.
Well, it was incomplete, but I think it was maybe 4th down, and they were late changing that down box. Maybe, I don't know.
That's a possibility. That's what I get for trusting the sideline folks, who are doing an awesome job. Don't get me wrong. Pearson the gun. He's got some friends in the backfield. He'll fake the handoff though. Throws left. Pass incomplete. Nearly intercepted. Nearly intercepted by Tyrone Maddox.
He's wishing he could have held that one.
Whew, he got right in between that receiver, Dickerson.
That ball was not thrown real well, but their receiver was open.
Well, and Dickerson, whose name we have not stopped calling out tonight, is coming off the field clutching his arm. So he may have got a little banged up. I see him stretching it out over there, so he's probably going to miss a couple of downs.
That brings up 3rd and 2. Ball on the 40-yard line.
Bears have the opportunity to make a big stop here as Pierce lines back up in the gun. Kenny over there to his right side. He's got 2 wideouts. Hands off to Kenny up the left side. Boom!
He does not make it.
Brought down by Ben Alvarez, and the Bears get a huge stop on 3rd down.
And that was just a little scat, and he made it to the line of scrimmage and didn't make anything more. So that's going to give us a 4th down, 2 yards needed for the first.
Well, Ben Alvarez reading that. We've called his name out quite a bit tonight.
Quite a bit.
We complimented our defense tonight at the beginning of the game before we got started. And, man, they have shown up in earnest tonight. 3 receivers on the right side. As Pierce takes the snap from the gun, he's rolling right, looking for a man. Pressure. And pass is complete to Matthew Cawley, and that's a touchdown for the Atlanta Rabbits. Well, pressure from the Bears defense, but it wasn't enough to shake Pierce. And he's going to drop it into the hands of Cawley, who will walk it into the end zone.
And Ben Alvarez makes a tackle in the end zone, and he is not happy about that touchdown, I can tell you. So that brings our score before the PAT, Atlanta 26, Bears 35, 2:52 left in the 3rd quarter, and they're about to do the PAT.
Hernandez PAT is good. So that'll bring your score. Gladewater 35 and Atlanta 27.
So once again, Bears score twice, and then the Rabbits answer, and that brings us to where we are. 2:52 left in this 3rd quarter. So again, just playing catch up ball for Atlanta, but they're in the ball game very much so with almost a quarter and 3 extra minutes. 2:52. A lot of football still left to happen here.
Absolutely. And Sabine responding in that game against Jefferson. They're not out of the fight yet. Jefferson 33, Sabine closing in at 20 with 1:25 left in the 3rd quarter.
So their pace is about where ours is tonight.
And we know that Gladewater still has Sabine and Jefferson to play. They're going to play Jefferson next week. Sabine, I believe they're going to play week 10, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the schedule in front of me, so forgive me, Bear Nation, if I told you a story on that one.
Sabine will be our last game, and Gladewater is open that first weekend in November. I think that's the 6th.
Well, there you go.
And there's the little pooch kick again. It's caught this time.
It's going to be returned by Reese. Reese running left. He's taking off on the right sideline. Brought out of bounds by Warren.
just around the 41, it looks like they're going to spot it. So the Bears will take over on their own 41. Again, very good field position here.
Credit to Reese's athleticism because he breaks left at first, runs across the field, doesn't like what he sees, turns around, goes back the other direction, heads up the sideline, and still manages to get the Bears in some good field position to start this drive.
Absolutely.
So the Bears are in the huddle. Atlanta once again strong on that left side. Officials are converging here.
Jordan Steger is this right end for Atlanta, number 20. And they've got a four-man front up there, two ends, two guards in the middle on their defensive line. And they've done really a pretty good job tonight. We're looking at, more than a one-touchdown ball game, but a two-possession ball game. Unless you go for two and they get it, then that would time.
Right. Bears in the I formation. Holmes back under center. He's got the fullback and the halfback behind him. He takes a snap. Hands off. Up. Keeps it himself. He's going to pitch it over to number 8. He's still up. That's Eli Carter with the first down.
Now, I'm going to tell you something you don't see a lot of. I was watching DJ Allen that time, and we really have not pitched the ball often, but when he pitched and our running back came around, DJ's out there getting a block for his other running back to cut up inside and make some yardage. So DJ Allen that time on a good job of blocking instead of running. So
Gladewater's a physical team, and they do what it takes. Holmes under center, same I formation. He's going to take the snap, fake the handoff. He's throwing left, and caught by Allen
that was
at the 10-yard line.
And that was just a post route, and he was open, and that was a very good play. That takes us down to about the 9 now. Kind of a hurry-up offensive look by
Bears
the
not
Bears.
wasting any time. Holmes back under center, same I formation, takes the snap. Hands off to Carter. Carter going left. He's brought down. Holds onto the ball. He's brought down by Trey Adams of the Rabbits. That'll be good for 2nd and goal.
And they're on, what would you call that, the 8-yard line?
I think so. Yep.
8-yard line.
The nose of the ball is touching the hash mark. I'd almost call that the 9 3/4.
Okay, we'll take it.
All right, Holmes back under center in the I formation. He's going to take the snap. He hands it to the tank. And just short.
He is almost there. I tell you, when Tank gets a head of steam and leans over and gets to rambling and rumbling, he is a chunk to bring down.
Well, he gets him that looks about the 2-yard line there, Sam.
I think you're right. Middle of the field. We'll see what the Bears are going to use for their go-to, try to get the ball in on this 3rd down.
We're going to set up in that heavy backfield. Holmes under center. Hands it to the tank again. He's got some help.
Touchdown.
It's enough to do the job.
When they get in that heavy set and they load it up on whichever side they set it to, it is hard to defend it for sure.
Whoop, there is a flag on the play.
Let's see what it is.
But the referee's holding up hands for touchdown. The train whistle guys have let us know it's a touchdown, so
can't be wrong then. When the whistle goes off, it's a deal.
Nope.
It's official.
Offsides was charged against the Rabbits, and naturally, Coach LeVere opted to decline the penalty.
Here's the PAT. High snap. Again, Lincoln does a great job of getting that ball down, and the kick is true. So that brings us with 31.5 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Gladewater Bears 42, Atlanta Rabbits at 27.
Widening that gap right now. We need to lock this down here. Look for the Bears to make one more strike if given the opportunity, just to create a little bit of separation there.
You know, Coach Murphy used to tell our guys, we can beat them, but it may take 4 full quarters. So Atlanta, I will say this, they are not laying down. They're not quitting. They're going to try to find a way to do it. But to do that, they're going to have some stops or turnovers, and we don't want to see either one of those from a Gladewater fan point of view. If the Gladewater Bears can just keep playing defense, I think they've got a really good chance to still be in this position at the end of the fourth quarter.
Well, and Atlanta's done a lot of fundamental things good as the kickoff goes into the end zone. So we'll bring it back out.
That was a really long kick, not extraordinarily high, but a deep kick. It landed about 4 yards into the end zone before it touched the grass. So no real chance for a return on that by Atlanta, but they will take over on the 25-yard line, middle of the field. Let's see what they've got.
Well, with the quality of Atlanta's special teams so far tonight, with a near touchdown kickoff return, I would say that's probably going to be the best thing to do. Pierce is back in the gun. He's got 3 receivers over on the left side. Takes the snap. He's going to look for one of them. Tosses it. Pass complete for a first down and then some.
You know, that's a good little move. He fakes to his right and then turns and throws left on that little jailbreak screen, and then they just run.
And that's Matthew Colley who's breaking and running for you. So that'll be about a 15-yard catch and run. Atlanta will have first down there at their own 40-yard line. It's almost a question. The Bears have the lead right now, but this has been a game of defense in a lot of ways. Even with all the points on the board, it's almost a question of whose defense is going to get tired first.
Right. Well, Atlanta lets the clock run out, so that's the end of the third quarter. We'll swap ends and move the ball to the other 40-yard line, and they've got a fresh set of downs, and they'll be now headed, the Rabbits will be headed south to the south end zone is where their objective is, and the Bears will be defending that end zone.
Sam, here's a little game of intrigue here in East Texas. Mount Vernon, Art Briles' boys up there, 23-20 over Mineola.
Is that a final?
That is 6:46 in the fourth quarter.
I got you. That's
and it was 20-20, and I just refreshed my phone, and it came up they kicked a field goal.
Well, that's not what I think anybody would have bet on before the kickoff.
And shout out to my alma mater, the Lindale Eagles, 34-7 over Henderson right now in the fourth quarter. I make a deal with Robert because in my free time I do Winona High School public address, and I say the Gladewater games announce the scores for him, so I figure I can take that liberty. As Pierce is lined up in the gun, Rabbits have offense. He's handed it off to Kenny, who breaks for the right side. Bears are on him.
I'm counting 5 Gladewater Bears within 1 step of the ball at the point of the tackle.
And that's Zach Polanco, who eventually brings him back, tackles him behind the line of scrimmage for about a 1-yard loss.
Avon, how many Bears does it take to make a brigade? Is 5 enough? Is there a number on it, or is it a judgment call?
You know how I judge the brigade thing, Sam? When I see a whole bunch of black and orange and I have no idea who gets credit for the tackle.
There you go.
That's a brigade. As we line back up in the gun, Pierce throws behind him. Lateral to Kenny, who's going to go left.
Just a little swing pass, but I believe it could have been classified as a lateral.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I am not the knowledgeable aficionado of football plays like you are, Coach.
Well, that little swing pass, what you're trying to do on that is put the ball in the hands of your best back, but get it out there quicker. So the pass gets it out there quicker, and then it's just everybody chasing him.
Pierce
now they
in
running
the gun. Gordon going up the middle. He's going to fight the brigade, and it looks like it was about 3rd and 2, and it's looking like he's got the first down.
He's got it.
He fought tooth and nail for that one, so credit to Kenny. He's taking a beating tonight, and he still takes a licking and keeps on ticking.
Yeah, Timex. That's what we'll call him. Now they're rolling the clock with 10:10 left in the ball game.
Ball spotted right at midfield, right on the nose of the Bear at midfield.
Looks like a part of the field emblem almost. Like we
looks
got
like
a ball
little freckle
there.
on the nose of the Bear.
That's where we're going to start.
And that's timeout charged against the Atlanta Rabbits. So folks, if you're just joining us, if this is the first time you're joining us tonight in this game, in this coverage, you've missed a good one. Bears 45, Atlanta 27.
42.
42, excuse me.
42, that's all right. At least you called them the right team.
Dangerfield is nowhere to be seen.
I've had a little problem with that a couple times tonight.
Well,
but
I mean,
I've got it straightened out. I know. I see the Rabbits and I say Atlanta, and we're good. But it is a good. In case y'all don't know it, I don't know if the camera's on us right now or not. It is, but we're having fun up here. And if we screw up a little bit or mess up, that's fine. We'll laugh at ourselves. We're not going to take ourselves too seriously, but we do take our football serious. So
well, and it's a lot more fun when the Bears have a lead going into the game.
Exactly. So I'll apologize to the Atlanta team for missing that name a couple times, but they are playing hard right now. We'll give that credit to them for sure.
They're fighting and they're not quitting. So we're back in. Pierce in the gun. He's got 2 backs with him. He's going to keep it himself. He's trying to take it up the middle. That's Eli Cates stopping him in his tracks and tackling him back behind the line of scrimmage.
That was a busted play. He turned to hand off, and both backs, either he went the wrong way or both backs did. We don't know who's wrong, but we do know the end result is he's got the ball and he's got to move. So he was very fortunate to make it back to the line of scrimmage for sure.
Well, and credit to the quarterback, Justin Pierce, because he didn't shy from that hit. He ran and he hit Cates head on. That's about running full force into a brick wall. So Pierce is back in the gun. He's got 3 wideouts to the right. Throws to one. Well, it's a completed catch. But Bohannon and friends are on it.
They're going to give him forward progress of about a 3-yard gain. And that ball was low. He did a great job catching that and having enough time to look up before he got hit by about 3 Bears. So
I think we can call that a brigade.
By a brigade. Avon says there's not a set number, so it's kind of a judgment call. If we think it's a brigade, we call it.
Well, our judgment is always spot on, Sam, so I think
absolutely,
we're okay.
Yeah.
The military says 1,500 to 3,200 soldiers.
So Pierce is in the gun. He's rolling left. He throws left.
Oh.
Pass intercepted.
Has he got it?
Is he got it? Is he got it?
They're calling that an interception.
That's Tyrone Maddox with the pick.
That was a great interception. He had to lay out for that just about, and somebody kept his feet, but he was down right there. Avon back to the brigade. I don't think there's that many people in the stadium tonight.
Avon, 1,500 or 15,000?
But our guys are
1,500 makes a brigade.
Our guys are playing like they're worth about 1,500. I can tell you that.
There's 11 defenders on the field right now, and they're playing like 11,000, Sam.
There you go. I'm loving it. All right.
Tyrone Maddox with the big interception. We'll change sides. Holmes under center in the I formation. Defense makes an adjustment. Holmes takes the snap. Hands off to Tank, who gets loose.
That's another example. Atlanta had a guy exactly where Tank was going. Now, I don't know. I know they stemmed, and he moved over, and that's where Tank ran. But I don't know. you get complicated. When they stem, you can have a audible at the line or just know if they go there, we're going to hit a hole wider. But however it was, whether it was just luck or somebody made a really good read, that was good for about 8 yards.
Well, and Walker back there behind the quarterback Holmes is going to see that, and he's going to be able to make the adjustment when he takes the handoff. So we're back in that I formation. Holmes going to take the snap. Hands it to Walker. And that's good to move the chains.
We're going to move them for sure.
The tank rolling back up the middle.
And with 7:32 left, and it'll start back up when they move the chains here, that's really a good call. And that fullback dive is really, it's a great play because you can make 7 yards, you can make 3 yards 3 times. I mean, it's a way to use your clock, keep the ball, keep your defense off the field, and eventually get points out of it. And every now and then it breaks for a touchdown.
You're so right. And Holmes is back under center in the I. Takes a snap back to the tank. Tank up the middle. That's about a 8-yard gain. I'm giving him 8 yards on that one, Sam.
I think that's good. Now, I watched number 64, Taylor Jasper, one of our linemen. He came through, and then he did a little peel back and sealed off one side, and Tank got about 3 more yards out of that deal, just on a little peel back block. So, again, those linemen, those trenchmen, they are really doing a good job of giving us the opportunity to burn some clock, score some points, and have ball control.
You're right, Sam. You got Tyler Smith out there, Jordan Kinsey. You just mentioned Jasper Taylor. As Holmes is under center. He'll take the snap. Hands it to Gordon this time. Gordon up the middle this time. He's going to be stopped just with about
It's going to be really close to that first down. It'll depend, as they say, it'll depend on the spot.
They're calling it 3rd and short, looks like it.
Well, this is it's going to be 4th and short, isn't it? Or is it 3rd? Okay, 3rd.
I believe this is
yeah.
3rd down.
So we got a timeout, official timeout. Let's see what's going on.
Think we're going to bring the chains out and measure it?
They probably are, but from where I am, it might be a little bit short.
Well, hey, going back to our offensive lineman, Trenton Bolt, your center over there, putting the ball where it needs to be. I see Nathan Keller out there as well. These guys, we talk about the run game, and the run game has been incredibly important tonight throughout the course of the game. And these linemen are helping make it happen. So
they are, and I see Zach Shipp out there wearing number 82, and honestly, he's just like an extra offensive lineman you can put out on the perimeter, and he makes a lot of things happen depending on what offensive set they're in. So these guys, and I get to see some of these guys I know and know their parents and know them, and I get to see them work on the field, and I get to see some of them work hard off the field too on ag projects and different things. So these guys are making a lot of sacrifice, not just for athletics, but in keeping their academics up and being involved in ag and different things. So
well-rounded students.
It really is. It's an impressive group with how their cohesiveness has held them together so far through this season.
Well, and these student athletes have got themselves a first down.
There you go.
The chains come out, and this time it was on the right side of the little white stripe at the end of the football. And so we'll take over first down in Atlanta territory. Holmes back under center in the I. He's set, takes the snap, hands it back to the tank. Tank is loose.
Goodness.
He's tripped up. But not before he rushes for 7 more yards right up that middle. And he is pounding that center gap.
If that guy doesn't get him by the ankles, he would have probably gained. I don't know if he would have scored because there's still some safeties back there that maybe could run him down. But he could run a long ways after that. So good shoestring tackle, but just good hard running by Tank.
Well, and you made that almost almost kind of a little joke about him being a dancer, but for a big guy, he's got some lightning quick feet.
And I was pretty serious with that. I think he could be a dancer. His feet are good.
Absolutely, and he's back there in that halfback position as Holmes goes under center. Takes a snap. This time it's Gordon. Gordon on the left, and he'll be tackled just good enough for a first down.
And guess who you saw out there ahead of him getting a block? Big Tank.
Well, of course.
So, that impresses me that these guys carry the ball and then they block for each other.
Well, and let's go back. You saw DJ Allen make a big block.
Yes.
We've got a tight end that they've utilized as a blocking tight end. These guys are physical. They're not afraid to take a hit and give a hit.
They stick their nose in there, don't they?
Kind of like a bear.
Yeah. Stick it in the beehive. Get that honey.
Holmes is under center. I formation. He's going to take the snap, give it to Tank again.
I tell you what.
Tank's going to push about 3 rabbits in front of him for about a 5 or 6 yard gain. Pounding the ground. These little chunks, 5 and 6 yard carries that are good for first down, Sam, is what it's all about.
Well, that brings us down to 3:37.
They're eating the clock.
And they are. And there's really not much that Atlanta can do right now to shut it down. They've got, according to the scoreboard, Gladewater has all their timeouts and Atlanta has 2 of theirs. And at some point, they're going to have to think about using some.
Well, that's what I wonder. Do you slow down this Bears offense?
Well, they're going to take a lot of time. It's just you got to choose where you want to use it.
Holmes under center in the eye again. Same. Hands off to Walker. He's only going to get a couple of yards this time. It only takes 4 Atlanta defenders to bring him down. Doesn't look like much of a gain on that carry. It'll bring up 3rd down.
Well, I will say this about Atlanta. They're guessing right now that it's going to come up the middle, and they're bringing people up and kind of blitzing them in there, and they guessed right that time. The guy they brought in, and I didn't get his number, but it was right at the point of attack where the ball was going. So, they're playing like they're still in it, and they are. We're at 2:57. Clock is stopped right now, but I believe the Bears are really doing a great job of getting enough yardage to keep the ball and burn some clock. And I don't know that Atlanta can do much to stop them.
Well, and Sam, we got some final scores to report here. Harleton has completed a rout of New Diana 42-0. Troop Tigers 24-15 over the Winona Wildcats. Longview High School beating Tyler Legacy 37-14. And that couple of district games we've been watching, I think Tatum has a pretty solid handle on New Boston. It's 56-24 in the 4th quarter.
Okay, we are fixing to be back on the clock here. And it is 3rd and 6, middle of the field. And the Bears break into the 1 back, 2 wide receivers right.
Holmes is in the gun this time. We're looking to put it to Slate. Throws left. Pass complete to Reese. And he's right there at the first down marker. Are they going to give it to him?
I think he's...
They gave it to him. That's a first down.
I think he's a little short. They're marking 4th down.
Yep, fourth and 1.
And 1, we'll call it. It may not be a full yard. So
I got confused on my hand signals that time. That was on me, Sam.
That's all right. They're at 2:46. The clock is stopped. The ball is on the 20. I'm going to call it the 23. 20. It's really between the 23 and the 24. And then we're still 42-27.
Well, so we're 4th and 1 right here. Do we give it to Tank, or do we try one of those little quick screens, or what? What are we doing here?
If you give it to Tank or the fullback dive, they're going to be up in there. I'm not sure you don't run the little counter off of it. and hit it off tackle or the C gap and see what happens. But we're going to find out. Atlanta is out of timeouts. Bears still have all three. So they're in the power I. They're heavy set. Let's see
Holmes
what
under
they do.
center. Hands it off to the tank.
And
He's got some
it.
assistance, and he's got the first down. That was... Well, Tank carried it, but that was Jabraylon Pauly giving him a little bump draft to help him get across on the first down.
And I really think that the formation they were in, that power I, they figured Tank would probably be blocking and not get the ball. So, but he did break it outside a little bit. Clock running at 2:38. Holmes coming in with the play. New set of downs. Tell us what you see, Dylan.
I see the huddle break. Holmes is back under center. We're back in that I formation that we like. This time Pauly takes it up the middle. And he's brought down for a gain of about 6, I want to say, Sam.
And, you know, I see 4 offensive linemen about 4 yards ahead of that. And that's a good sign to see.
Paving the way. And Jabraylon Pauly is not wanting for any size about him and not wanting for any quickness. So he comes in and they're probably thinking Tank just changed out jerseys. Because Pauly just came and pounded that front line.
Well, and you know he's played some defense. We've seen him play some offense, and
he's a part of the Bear Brigade, that's for sure.
He is. So with 1:38 and counting, Bears line up for the second down and about 6, we'll call it.
Pauly at the halfback position. Gordon sitting back a little further in that I. Handoff to Gordon up the middle. And he'll be stopped. That's about a 1, 2, 3 yard gain for Gordon. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 3.
Well,
3rd and 4. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I couldn't count on my fingers when I'm holding my binoculars, so it makes my life a lot harder.
You may have to take a shoe off. We'll just have to see. I think you can make it, though. We're down to a minute left. And if they can play the clock right, if they can run 2 plays, I think this is going to be a ball game.
Maybe pick up the first down and then.
I don't know that they'll have to run 2. They might need to take, I hate to see them take a timeout, but they're down to 8 seconds, 7 on the play clock.
Well, they just broke the huddle. Holmes under center. He's going to take the snap, hands it to Pauly. Pauly's going to push his way to a first down.
Touchdown.
Oh, not quite.
Not quite.
Stopped about 4 yards short. So he's going to get the first down, and it's 1st and goal right now on the 4-yard line of the Rabbits. With 25, the clock is stopped at 25 seconds flat.
So they're going to stop the clock. Have we got somebody down?
Yep, looks like an injury timeout there in the middle of the field.
Looks like one of the Gladewater Bears. So it's going to be...
That would be the hero of that play, Pauly.
So it looks like it's going to be a first down from just inside the 5, maybe right at the 5, with 25 seconds left.
Gladewater's going to catch a knee as the trainers tend to Pauly.
And then really they could really not run a play because when they set the clock and start the play clock, they both have 25 seconds. They're going to run out at the same time. So we're going to hope that Jabraylon Pauly is okay. Let him tend to him. He's sitting up now.
Yep, he's getting up off the ground now with a little bit of assistance.
And I see his helmet off, but looks like he's hobbling a little bit. So he's going to come off under his own power. And
favoring that leg just a little bit. He probably jarred it a little bit on that carry.
Well, he was running hard. I know that. He might have got hit on it. You never can tell, but good sign to see him coming off under his own power and just playing on both sides of the ball and contributing everything he can. You hope everything's good, but he's walking on it, so it's maybe going to be sore. You just can't speculate, but
Looks like Bears are going to conference about it.
Yeah. So,
I was looking for that Jefferson game, Sam. I lost that one on my little cellular communication device here. I was trying to find it.
Let me see if I can find it here.
Final now is Tatum over New Boston, 56-32. Well, that is because Jefferson and Sabine is still going, but Jefferson's opened up a gap. And, folks, they're going to let the clock run out, and that's going to be an end of your ball game.
So,
your final.
Final, Bears 42, Atlanta Rabbits 27. And the guys are passing by each other on the field. Once again, I want to thank Dylan for changing his role from the statistician and getting to do some play-by-play, and a good job on that tonight, Dylan. So I'm sure your mentor, Mr. Reynolds, is going to be proud of you, and I'm sure he's going to tell you, well, I'd have done this or I'd have done that, and that's okay.
Well, Sam, I hope I made y'all proud, and I hope I made Bear Nation proud. This has kind of been a dream realized for me, calling play-by-play. And, our thoughts and prayers and our love go out to Robert. Hopefully he's sitting in this seat next home game. But at any rate, Sam, I enjoyed sitting over here next to you.
Good deal. Well, thank you. And, again, thanks to the UIL for just giving us the opportunity to stream these games and reach out to a lot of people that otherwise couldn't watch. And, again, Avon and Michelle, thank you for what you do back there. And we couldn't do it without you for sure. So, again, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And that'll be
that's hosting White Oak, I believe.
The White Oak game in 2 weeks. And so we're looking forward to that. But root for the Bears, and thank you all for viewing and listening to us. Have a little fun tonight.